This episode is brought to you by Buy My Stuff on eBay. Yes, you too can buy my stuff from eBay. Simply search for the seller, Tin Dog Podcast, and you can own some rare and collectible items. From the same people who brought you Buy My Books on Amazon. Check the show notes for a direct link.
Scanning for audio.
It is the 31st century. Ulysses killed the giant Cyclops when he rescued the children and his son Telemachus. But the ancient gods of Olympus are angry and threaten a terrible revenge.
Mortals, you defy the gods? I sentence you to travel among unknown stars. Until you find the kingdom of Hades, your bodies will stay as lifeless as stones.
Ulysses, no one else can do the things you do. Ulysses, always fighting all the evil forces, bringing peace and justice to all.
Welcome to a Tin Dog Podcast. I'm going to be doing more Ulysses 31 because, I'm enjoying it. And that's alright. That's not a crime. That's what we're here for. There will be more Doctor Who content and more general sci-fi stuff. And even next Monday, or you may have already heard it, there would be a For Your Consideration where we discussed Beau Geste from the 1980s. Ah, yes, because the 1980s is where we belong. Okay, so today we're going to be doing The Eternal Punishment, which is a story that I had to do different types of research because it didn't appear in the Usborne book of Greek myths, and even in the Hamlin one, it's not there. It does appear in several other books, obviously. Now, it's not part of your basic Odyssey story, but it is one of those famous Greek myths. Now, the reason it's famous is because Sisyphus, I'll do the short version. He gets punished by the gods to do this eternal task, where he's pushing a boulder uphill every day, forever and ever and ever, as a punishment. And you know what? When you've got a job and you work, and you start thinking, this is pointless, which is what affects, I would say, at least, everyone at various points in their life, then this is something you can all relate to. Okay, and that's now your basic story. It does appear in various Greek myths in different forms. But just to look at the Wikipedia, you've got Sisyphus, who is the founder of Corinth. Now, Corinth's actually mentioned in this particular episode as a planet, I'm guessing. He reveals Zeus's abduction of Aegea, the river god, to Osophius, thereby incurring Zeus's wrath. His subsequent cheating of death earns him eternal punishment in the underworld. Once he dies of old age, the gods force him to roll an immense boulder up the hill, only for it to roll back every time it's nearly at the top, repeating this action for eternity. Though classic literature and contemporary culture, the tasks are both laborious and futile, therefore described as Sisyphean. Okay, that's one's Wikipedia. And obviously you've got this one in Ulysses. Now, here we go. Here's the important bit. This is the Ulysses story that absolutely 100% stuck with me from first viewing. It's something I would think about from time to time. In watching it now, I can see why. Not only is it gloriously well made, there's moments of silence, which you just don't get in cartoons. There's moments of stillness. Again, there's a lot of that going on here. Now, it's not that it's boring. Here's the real gift, okay? This guy is doing the same task every single day. He's lonely. He's in a barren world. It's relentless. It's all-consuming. It's appalling, this man's punishment from the gods. Is he there to learn a lesson? We can discuss that in a minute. But he is being punished in this episode of Ulysses for trying to find the secret of the gods, which is immortality. He's from a lovely, slightly odd world. Okay, can I just draw my fellow listeners' attention to the scene where it's flashback, he's thinking about his time, his wife, his previous world. He holds up a wine glass. The light is passing through the wine. He's out of focus. The wine glass is in focus. He brings the wine glass down. He then comes into focus, and the light, it's an incredible shot. It's worthy of an animated movie. Okay? It's not just it's not just everyday tea time cartoon stuff here. There's a definite quality of animation going on. Yes, the business with the flashback and the people treading, the weirdly dressed women pressing wine, and he's like, oh, everything's dead happy, and then it flashes back to Tatooine Plus, because there's 7 suns. Weirdly, it's not a planet, it's like a floating collection of mushrooms, because the laws of physics are, they're the whim of the gods, literally, in the realm of Olympus, which he says he can leave when Zeus decides to talk to him. We're assuming it's the voice of Zeus. Now, the reason that it stuck with me was because there's a recycling story where they're just doing the same thing, and he's been doing it for so long that he thinks the hole should now be full. And of course the hole's never full, because the same stuff's just being shoved back up by the giant mantis robot. Again, there's a lovely out of focus sequence where the mantis is walking along. But it's the vast underground complex that he says he's managed to climb his way out of the sand. If he'd only let himself fall, he would have found this out, but he didn't. He managed to climb himself out and survive. It's monotony portrayed in cartoons without becoming boring. The suns, you can almost feel the heat. It's wonderfully done. It's genuinely beautifully done. And you thinking back on it after all these years, that it's the same storyline over and over again. But you only see him do it a handful of times. Then the gods say, hey, get someone to replace you and you can go free. And of course that's what introduces the conflict and the storyline going on further, because he then gets Ulysses to do the job. And Ulysses, of course, goes into the hall at some point, and then he finds out the truth, which, of course, gives the guy an absolute mental breakdown. And then you get the business with him smashing the machines and the machines rebuilding themselves. Yes, there is a forbidden planet, or the planet that Babylon 5's in orbit around. It's the same planet. Vibe, the massive, big planetary complex with the machines inside, the artwork, even the shot construction is very similar. And I've got no real problem with that, because the whole place is designed for one single purpose, which is to punish him. Now, is it punishment or is it re-education? Is Sisyphus supposed to learn from this? Is the actual act of Ulysses turning up going, hey, I'll help you defeat the gods too, I'll get you out of here? And I'm going, no, I'm going to do as the gods have told me, and then do that. He's so broken by the gods that he has no rebellion. He's just going to take any chance he can get to replace him so that he can get out. Because obviously the gods stick to their word. Yeah, they don't do that really. Should have figured that one out. But he's broken. He's going to take that opportunity. And here's the reason it stuck with me. Yes, it's got some brilliant visuals. It's because it's so damn bleak at the end. Sisyphus does not escape. He is left alone on the planet. There is no way of doing it. Now, even in stuff that's, bleak and challenging and marvellous, like Adventure Time, or there's some other superb bits of animation. The best writing on TV is kids' animation at the moment. It's challenging, it's funny, it brings everything together, and anyone who's not experiencing this because they're a snob is just missing out on an absolute treat. The quality of animation now absolutely has a through line. Oh, I've also seen that there's the possibility of a Ulysses 31 text adventure coming out. I don't know what format it's going to be on, what platform or anything like that, but that's incredible that there's other people out there who are still incredibly passionate about this ancient cartoon that happened so long ago, that genuinely touched us. And it's not just that it's a retelling of the stories of ancient Greece, although that's got a lot to do with it, because this is going to be a lot of people's first experience. So like I said, it's predominantly bleak, awful, overbearing, and you can feel the heat coming from the screen. The tiny cast helps. Yes, there's the comedy moments with the robot pretending to be a weird ghost. I do love Shirker kicking off going, I'm a 31st century computer. I'm not going to take orders from you, sunshine. Is great. Is just so nice. I am a very, very big fan of this. So, this is an episode I'm thinking you could actually show people at random and just go, yeah, this is why I like Ulysses. And then they'd go, yeah, I get it. I just get it. Because the pacing's good. There's actual adventure. Yes, there's a giant robot thrown in just to give a bit of tension. But it's the characterization and, as I said earlier, the utter bleakness of the storyline that really shines through. Right, as always, the link to watch the episode is now in the show notes if you follow it to YouTube. I know that some people are watching along because I've clicked on the viewing figures, and the only way you can watch Ulysses 31 on those files is if you've clicked on the link. So I'm glad that people are joining me and watching along. Remember, you can always watch the episodes discussed in the podcast via this route. Right, I'm going to go now. Speak to you very soon. Either about Doctor Who or River Song or probably even more of this. Because we've got 26 episodes and this was only episode 5. Until next time, be seeing you. That was the Tin Dog Podcast. All topics discussed are the intellectual property of the copyright owners. No infringement is intended. Why not follow the show on Blue Sky at tindogpodcast.bsky.social. If you've enjoyed this podcast on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.